Ante-Nicene Ancient Church Fathers' Writings, Volume 1, the Second Epistle of Clement. Introductory Notice. The first certain reference which is made by any early writer is this so-called Epistle of Clement, is found in these words of Epicurus, Historical Ecclesiastics 3:38, quote, "We must know that there is also a second Epistle of Clement, but we do not regard it as being equally notable with the former, since we know of none of the ancients that have made use of it," unquote. Several critics in modern times have endeavored to vindicate the authenticity of this epistle, but it is now generally regarded as one of the many writings which have been falsely ascribed to Clement. Besides the want of external evidence, indicated even by Epicurus in the above extract, the diversity of style clearly points to a different writer from that of the first epistle. A commonly accepted opinion among critics at the present day is that this is not an epistle at all, but a fragment of one of the many homilies falsely ascribed to Clement. There can be no doubt, however, that in the catalogue of writings contained in the Alexandrian MS manuscript, it is both styled an epistle, and, as well as the other which accommodates it, is ascribed to Clement. As the manuscript is certainly not later than the 5th century, the opinion referred to must by that time have taken firm root in the Church. But in the face of internal evidence, and in want of all earlier testimony, such a fact goes but a small way to establish its authenticity. The so-called the Second Epistle of Clement, Chapter 1. We ought to think highly of Christ. Brethren, it is fitting that you should think of Jesus Christ as of God, as the judge of the living and the dead. And it does not become us to think lightly of our salvation, for if we think little of him, we shall also hope but to obtain little from him. And those of us who hear carelessly of these things as if they were of small importance, commit sin, not knowing whence we have been called, and by whom, and to what place, and how much Jesus Christ submitted to suffer for our sakes. What return, then, shall we make to him? Or what fruit that shall be worthy of that which he has given to us? For indeed, how great are the benefits which we owe to him! He has graciously given us light. As a father, he has called us sons. He has saved us when we were ready to perish. What praise, then, shall we give to him? Or what return shall we make for the things which we have received? We were deficient in understanding, worshipping stones and wood and gold and silver and brass, the works of men's hands, and our whole life was nothing else than death. Involved in blindness and with such darkness before our eyes, we have received sight, and through his will have laid aside the cloud by which we were enveloped. For he had compassion on us, and mercifully saved us, observing the many errors in which we were entangled, as well as the destruction to which we were exposed, and that we had no hope of salvation, except it came to us from him. For he called us when we were not, and willed that out of nothing we should obtain a real existency. End of chapter 1.